Diane must be when she hears cases like Pam's. Once married to Jesse's father, Pam never dreamed that one day he would violently turn on her.
When you get married, I always believe, in that little fairy tale princess, and you live happily ever after. And children, I wanted children, and I got a beautiful daughter.
Happily ever after didn't last long.
2 days after our marriage, he started beating me, which really shocked me. He was smashing my head on the sink. He had smashed it so hard, he didn't even realize how hard he was smashing me, but I couldn't even raise my arm.
Many beatings followed, but it wasn't the beatings that made Pam finally leave.
She said, Daddy put his body in my body, made me bleed, and I was like, what? Denial. Like, no way, no way. Not my child. No, he wouldn't do that. Beat me, yes, I'm thinking, but touch my daughter, no.
He said, like, if you tell, I'll kill your mom.
Despite her father's threat, Jessie did tell her mother. Physical evidence of the sexual abuse was determined. The father was registered as a sexual abuser in the state of New York. Pam was then warned by social services that she could lose custody of all 3 of her children if she didn't protect them from their father.
They counseled me on staying with him, and that if she was hurt again, that I would be prosecuted because I was not protecting my child.
So Pam left with the 3 children and moved to another state. But the father filed for custody of the 2 boys in Virginia and got it. He did not apply for custody of Jessie, no doubt because of the New York ruling. So now the boys visit Pam only twice a year.
After they returned, the boys had been saying that they were being beaten and that Sean had been burnt with a cigarette. And Aaron was talking about being cut with a, the knife they described is like a wide knife. So it's like a butcher knife.
One time there was a marriage game and a touching game.
When the boys told of other horrors, Pam decided to secretly tape a nighttime conversation. One son told her again about the marriage game they are forced to play with their father and stepmother. This tape was ignored by the first guardian ad litem, the children's attorney in the case, and so the judge never heard it.
What's the matter, Aaron?
That's the disgusting. You touch each other in baskets. They make you.
Who makes you?
Touch is bad.
Touch who?
In the bad places.
Who?
They touch each other in bad places.
Who does?
They make us kiss.
Touch who?
Everybody touches each other in a bad place, and it's not good.
How can you award custody to a father who has sexually abused one of the children and has physically abused the other 2?
The boys described to social workers the abuse that took place with their father and stepmother. They also told Dr. Susan Garvey, the court-appointed psychologist who specializes in forensic psychology and family abuse.
I publicly testified that it was my belief through my clinical evaluation of the 2 boys that they were sexually abused by their father, even though it was a domestic violence situation, even though many of the child's therapists had said that the children were sexually abused and were traumatized by the father, even though a recent psychological on the mother said that she was a fit parent, even though a recent psychological on the father said that he had significant psychological difficulties, and that psychologist recommended only supervised visitation. Even though I said the children showed trauma, and I believe their stories that they had been abused by their father, the judge gave custody to the father.
The courts haven't been interested in the substance. What courts will do is they'll look at the evidence that says that the kids are being molested or the kids are in danger and disregard that. And then they look for any sort of thread that arguably can suggest that the mother made it up or the mother did something wrong. And unfortunately, Lots of kids are being destroyed in the process.
Richard Ducote, a nationally known lawyer and child advocate, has been brought in as co-counsel on the case.
There's no law in the country that was ever written to hurt kids. There's no law that was ever enacted to hurt kids. If the law or if the system hurts kids, it's because judges misapply it.
In this instance, the guardian ad litem arrived before Pam and her legal team. She spoke alone with the judge. Pam, who is paying for 2 attorneys, is used to this kind of legal exclusion. The guardian ad litem doesn't want to talk about what just happened. Later, she refuses a request to be interviewed, even though it is her job to listen to the boys, talk to both parents, and present a clear picture to the judge. In fact, she has talked to the boys only briefly. She has ignored evidence of domestic violence and sexual abuse, as well as the audio tape. Pam, who had hoped for more visitation with her sons, was denied without ever being heard.
I don't understand what happened. I don't know how they got removed. I obeyed the court order, and they took them anyway. I wake up every morning worried about my sons. I go to bed every night worried about my sons.
So how can so many judges make decisions that are clearly harmful to children?
Because they're fathers and they're so interested in their children and they want custody so badly, the judges are impressed. We have all these fathers who don't care about their children, and heavens knows we need fathers. I mean, I would be the first to say that fathers are irreplaceable. But the judge thinks this is one of these fathers, because why would he be so interested in this child? And he doesn't get the reason that he's so interested in this child is because this is breaking this woman's heart and breaking her down.
About 75% of men who are abusive of their partners are also abusive of their children. The kind of abuse is less clear, but I've seen many cases in which there's also been sexual abuse against the children. I think the common link is that men who are abusive of their partners are often men who are very controlling of other people and who have their way with other people. And if the way that they want to have is sex with a child, these are men who would be much less likely to be inhibited from having sex with a child than another man might be.
If women are perceived in court as unstable, angry, and vindictive, while men are seen as calm, controlled, and caring, it is no accident. It is part of a deliberate strategy devised by Dr. Richard Gardner. Dr. Richard Gardner is the father of PAS, Parental Alienation Syndrome. PAS means that children are programmed by one